stuck in traffic. Suddenly you hear this thunder next to your car, right? And it's a motorcycle. It's called lane splitting. They go in between the cars, right? So is it legal? Or is it not legal, or will be? Brian Watkins is here this morning. He is a local attorney extraordinaire. And Brian, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thank you.
Good to see you, man. So my question is, I always thought, and I have a motorcycle, I don't like the lane split. I like to wait for traffic because I don't want to take my own, life in my hands.
Right.
But I always thought it was legal.
Well, it's not really legal or illegal. It's really a gray area. It's not a violation of the vehicle code to lane split. However, insurance companies have always used that as a way to deny liability and not compensate victims of motorcycle accidents. And so now what the bill is going to do is try to make it officially legal with some parameters and some guidelines. And that's what the bill is going to do. So it's on the governor's desk to sign. If it's signed, which we expect it to do, that means that the CHP will be able to come up with guidelines, speed guidelines and certain guidelines, basically then implementing a law that makes lane splitting completely legal.
Yeah, and it's a little bit scary. I mean, as a motorcycle rider myself, I see these guys flying up and down, and I'm like, wow, man, you just missed my car by like a centimeter. I mean, it doesn't seem to be something that should be encouraged.
Well, motorcycle riding is dangerous. No fender benders in motorcycle accidents. That's what we say. Our firm represents motorcycle victims. We're #1 in San Diego representing motorcycle victims. And we got to share the roads. And as a car driver myself, I'm not a motorcycle rider, we want this. We're in traffic, and more cars would make more traffic. And motorcycles helps alleviate some of that traffic. So
that is true.
It's actually a good thing.
Yeah, and it's nice when you're flying, like this is the video we're seeing here. It's nice when you're flying by everybody who's at a dead stop and you can continue moving. That's one of the advantages of riding a bike.
Right, and motorcycles, if they sit still for too long, they can overheat. So they need to keep moving. And of course, like if that person was on a car, there's more cars, another car you have to wait for at the stoplight, at the stop sign, making more traffic. So it helps everybody. We got to share the roads.
Yeah, we got to share the roads. So do they have like the parameters? Do they have the rules? Is it because I always understood that you could go 10 miles an hour over whatever the speed limit is of the traffic.
That's not necessary.
But I guess that's not true.
That's not the law.
That was a fallacy.
Well, that's what they're going to be coming up with. The CHP now, this bill does not say lane splitting is hereby legal. The bill basically says, CHP, you have the right to go ahead and implement guidelines for lane splitting. The CHP then will work with the Department of Transportation and Safety, as well as the Department of Motor Vehicles, to come up with these guidelines, which haven't been done yet. Right. They were initially introduced in the bill, but there was an uproar. There were some disputes as far as the speed limits and such. So they said, okay, let's take it to CHP and allow them to come up with guidelines that everybody's happy with and that's safe for everyone. And then we're going to implement them, and then it will be legal under those guidelines.
Kind of reminds me of, the speed limit is 65. And we always think we can go, they'll give us 10 miles an hour. We can go 75, but they can nab you at any point. Absolutely. If they're in a good mood, they'll let you go at 75. But it's kind of the same thing. It's almost like this gray area where they let you do it. But if you get too radical, they're going to crack down.
The CHP can determine if you're driving safe for the conditions. Now, what are the conditions? What's safe? If you're 5 miles over on a bright, sunny day, everything's dry, everything's dry, the CHP will be like, yes, 5 miles below the speed limit is still safe. You're not in violation of the law. However, you can be 5 miles under the speed limit, and the conditions don't provide for that, and CHP can write you a ticket, saying you were not driving safe for the conditions.
It really is determined by the conditions, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And that's in the law.
That's in the law.
That is in the law.
So CHP does have some discretion.
Yeah. So the governor's going to sign this?
It's expected to, yes.
And it's going to be a done deal, and then they'll come up with the rules, and we'll all have to abide by the rules.
Absolutely, and motorcycle accident victims then can, I've been in a lot of these fights with these insurance companies, and they're, we win them, but they're long and drug out, and it really basically creates a substantial delay in motorcycle accident victims being compensated for their medical expenses and such.
Yes, and now you'll have something to actually hang that on.
Absolutely.
All right. What else is going on?
Oh, just working too hard.
Yeah.
Enjoying sunny San Diego.
Yeah.